What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Gravity the Beast. Welcome to the Big Cap. No bullshit.
We
Just
back.
conversations about
Back
passions,
again, people.
philosophies, and perspective.
Oh, you know it.
So, got the homies with me. Go ahead.
Real nigga Twan, you already know.
Mm-hmm.
So on, guys. It's your boy Bash.
Yup. All right, so going into the next topic, right? It was validation. And that is another topic that really kind of made a light bulb go off in my mind when I started
Mhm.
thinking about it because I heard someone say that females are validation based. And
Yes.
no, see, at first I kind of believed it,
Okay.
but then I also started looking at how a lot of dudes out here are validation based.
Niggas be bitches though.
Yeah, yes, a lot of niggas are bitches
It's
out
sad.
here,
It's really sad.
but
Go ahead.
I mean, I wasn't trying to cut you off,
Nah, you straight. Nah,
All right.
I was just saying it was
All
sad.
but I feel like we're all validation based to a point, right? Because when a guy, let's say if I were by myself in the woods, I am trying to feed myself, so I'm gonna kill for food,
And how did you get there?
huh?
How did you get there?
In the woods,
Yeah.
God put me there. But nah, but like let's say if I'm in the woods and whatever, if I'm living in the woods, I'm trying to feed myself. So I go out and I find an animal that I could kill. I find some plants that I could eat. I find something to nourish myself, right?
Okay.
Now,
I don't go. I be thinking about the same shit.
yeah, but it's like once
What would happen?
when I get there, I'm trying to feed myself. So am I thinking about validation when I kill this animal and I feel good about it? Nah, I just got a rush of endorphins and dopamine and whatever that's just going through my brain because I know I just did something that's going to nourish me and keep me alive. That's not necessarily how we would simplify validation in a social sense, but you could argue validation to a point. Then you take it to a step further where it's like you come home, bring home the bacon like on some old school black and white television 1950s shit. Like come home with some money and hey dad, oh yeah, like you feel good and then your wife treats you a certain way and she like you feel validated by your actions based on what's being done for you. Now that's
Yeah.
simple enough, but then in our day and age right now, our forms of validation got put into social media, whereas in the past you could say
Image.
it is the image,
The
and that
reflection.
it is fake. But in the past, right? If I work hard, and I have a wife and children, and I have a good job, and I come home from my job after making good money and working hard, and my kids come hug up on me, wanting to spend time with me. My wife got a meal cooked, and she sucked my dick afterwards. I'ma love that shit and feel like a fucking man. I'ma feel like a man, and I'ma go out and be motivated to do more. And that right there is a certain level of validation that you get from that, from your family, from the reaction that you get. It makes you want to do more. But where we're at now in society, where it comes to having relationships with each other and within the opposite sex, within just the general
Yeah.
public in your community, right? Prior, you make good money, your wife loves you, or super simple terms.
Yeah.
You make good money, your wife loves you. You
hope
make
so.
you make good money, you're respected in the community.
Facts.
Now we've taken it to a place beyond community to where we're not looking at our immediate peers, we're looking at so much more. To where
Celebrities.
let's say you got a guy who lives in a small town and he doesn't necessarily, or maybe not even small town. He lives, or this is something we could all relate to. So we're in Middletown, Delaware.
Yeah.
Shouts out to Middletown High School. Middletown High School is a good school, but outside of that, Middletown, Delaware specifically is at this point known for people from other places coming here.
Not true.
And take a
Shit.
shouts out to
Every
Middletown.
every other nigga was a
Shouts
Philly
out to-
nigga.
That's what. Hold on, I was about to get into that. So look. So, within that,
That's what
if
made
you
it
if you
lit,
if you
though.
come to Middletown, Delaware, you gonna have everybody claiming everywhere but Middletown, Delaware. You gonna have a
Facts.
nigga say, "Yo, I'm from Philly. I ain't from Middletown. You don't know me. I'm from Philly. I'm from New York. I'm from DC. I'm from Maryland. I'm from Baltimore. I'm from Cali. I'm from Chicago. I'm from like you gonna hear all these niggas talk about where they from because they want validation for that shit.
Mhm.
It's like I remember I came out here from New York. I was 4 months away from being 13, so I was practically 13.
It's like
I
you're
come out here,
disappointed, so you have to tell your whole life story.
You know,
right?
I'm very
But
big
it's
on
like,
that. Can I just say something?
what's up?
Because, all right, so they use that for validation, right?
Yeah.
And they went through it. They came from there, and it's like, okay, wouldn't it be more tougher if you just say you're from Delaware? Because at that point, you literally have New
Facts.
York's around you. You got Baltimore around you, DC
Mm-hmm.
around you. You're seeing all of this at once. So you're seeing
I've
all
been
of
to
these
all those
types
places.
of places that supposedly are like the big and bad and the best. But yeah, we got that all here in Delaware.
See, but most people that and I think what you're saying is valid to a point, but the problem comes where most of these people in Middletown have not seen that shit. Like
Yeah, but
they
it's-
don't
those
know.
are just the locals, I guess. At that
But
point.
You don't
what's up?
realize the calmness
Yeah.
if you've never been in these places.
Yeah,
Like
that's
New
true.
York is like so congested. It's just like Middletown's fucking calm.
Yeah.
It's boring.
Yeah,
It's boring.
Facts.
But if you but from this point, you can go to wherever the fuck you want
Mhm.
and find a lit ass time.
Mhm.
If you got the ability to drive or some shit, bro. I was in New York, Connecticut,
Mm-hmm.
DC, New York, Jersey, Philly. I'm just everywhere from right here.
Mm-hmm.
Virginia Beach, 4 hours away.
yeah.
Fuck it, I could drive 4 hours in one go. We there weekend. I would
See-
do that type bullshit.
But see, I feel like the problem comes where you got a lot of people that they're looking for validation. So like I was saying before,
Niggas love dick eat.
peep,
It's sad.
I came out here when I was practically 13.
Yeah.
And then I'm from New York, but I don't think that means anything. Like, yeah, I'm from the city. I had to deal with the quiet when I first came out here. I'm used to hearing cars. I'm used to hearing music coming out the window. I deal with that. Then it's like, all right, you get used to it. And then I'm in class. Like, we used to be some badass kids where I'm from. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, my class, like MS 328. Class 701, we was there. 601, 701. We used to get lunch detention all the time. I remember being in class. Somebody took a tile.
Bro.
Somebody took a tile off the floor and tossed it at the teacher's head.
Yep.
Cracked that shit at the chalkboard, bro. Back when
Not
we
good.
had chalkboards, literally, it was some badass kids. This was us though. And it wasn't necessarily that we were just bad kids, but it was the influences. I had the police officer come into my 7th grade class asking us if we were in gangs or not. And niggas shut the fuck up. Ain't nobody say shit. Was I in a gang? No.
But I ain't saying shit either, bitch.
But I ain't like I don't know. But at the
Fuck 'em.
time, I was protected. I didn't realize that a lot of my family were in gangs and in all this. I didn't.
yeah.
I was protected, and I didn't realize why. But when my aunt told me like she wanted to get me away from that because she didn't want me, I was like, "What are you talking about?" I didn't see it because I was so protected from it. And now in hindsight, I could say she got me out at the right time. Because me knowing who I am and what I ended up doing, I probably would have been like my other little cousins.
Yeah,
I probably would have been like them niggas.
I deadass might be in jail if I would have stayed in Wilmington. If I
Right.
would stayed in Wilmington,
Right.
I,
But
I,
look-
I would be the one. I'd be the one in jail. Swear to God. I'd be the one in jail.
we experienced that,
Yeah.
so we understand that. But then when I come out here and I come out at 13, I was at a point where I'm leaving my block. I wasn't super young. I started walking home from school 4th grade. So at 4th grade, I'm seeing the neighborhood by myself.
Yeah.
I'm walking home. I asked my grandmother for some money. I go out with my friends. We walking around the neighborhood. We go just whatever.
Almost got jumped in the basketball court.
Shit like that.
Shit like that.
Shit like that happens, right? Hold on. Real quick though. Shit like that happens, but then you have these kids that came to Middletown, Delaware in 3rd grade.
Not me.
You
I was in
wasn't
the fourth.
you wasn't walking home by yourself. You wasn't leaving the crib. You didn't call your friend, say come outside, and then y'all go walk around the neighborhood. Y'all wasn't doing that shit. So when you talk about being from somewhere, you don't know what the hood is like really. You was in the crib. You never walked off the fucking porch. You don't know what your neighborhood is like. You didn't experience shit. Not to say that I did, because I left at 12, about to be 13. I didn't experience the most, but I got to see certain things. So I'm comfortable within how to move. When my grandmother was like, yeah, you could walk home by yourself. We going to see how you do. And then I came home, and then I got my key. And then I got to that age. I understood what that meant. I understood like, yo, stay away from certain shit. I'm gonna walk this way, not this way.
Don't let nobody ride your bike.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing. But when you see that type of shit, I remember as a kid, I'm in like 6th grade, but I went to the armory at the time because I was gonna help out with some younger kids. And I'm walking from my block to the armory, not past my elementary school. I'm walking down the block, and then I just see some niggas like standing in front of a building or whatever. At the time, I didn't know if these niggas was on no type of time. For all I know, they could have been some cool niggas, no problem.
Could you have been kidnapped?
I could have, but I mean, you know that anybody could get kidnapped. That's just the risk you take.
It's like,
But we in the
like
city.
you
That's just life. But I made the as a child.
You could have really been through some shit.
Not even a teenager.
Can't
As a child, you know what I said? I was like, look, I'm going. I just got to go down this block and take a left. But instead, I'm going to go down to this other block, walk down and come around. Because I don't know these niggas. I know this block is more populated. I'm going to just go down this block instead. It's not that long of a walk. I'm going to just do that.
It's
As
the
a
quiet
child,
route. You realize it's the quiet route.
It's this simple.
Have to deal with that.
But when you do, you just think about it a little bit differently. It's not out of necessarily paranoia. It's just being safe. It's like, I'm not sure, so why take the risk? I'm going to do this. A lot of these dudes did not come up like that. You don't know your own. Like, you go to Philly or you go to DC, you go to wherever, you go to your grandma's house, you go to your cousin's house, you travel the city with your cousins, with these niggas that are supposedly about that life. So that gives you a certain confidence, and every day you go to sleep in the fucking suburbs. Like, you don't really know what any of that shit is like. And I'm not acting like I know what that shit is like, but I understand. I remember being in the park one day, and a nigga was just joking. Like, I think he was just joking. He was like, yo, get on the ground. Niggas about to come shoot the block up. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? But he was probably joking, but instead, I just ran back to my building. I'm not about to stay in the fucking park. I'm about to run to the building. I remember one time where a cousin of mine had a boyfriend that was on some bullshit, and it was like he was about to hit her or some shit. My grandmother came downstairs to, like, talk to this nigga, saying, like, look, if you hit my niece or whatever, I'm going to call the cops and blah, blah, blah. He was talking mad shit. The cops came. And then he was talking about, like, yo, my niggas gonna come. We gonna spray the block up, blah, 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 blah. He got tackled into a pile of garbage. And then they took him off. But then I go to my homie crib not knowing if my block is going to get shot the fuck up. I don't know.
Niggas play theatrics.
Niggas be on bullshit, but I didn't know that. These niggas ain't never have to deal with that paranoia, like, yo, is niggas going to come shoot my block up? Yeah. Like, I remember going to school one day, and a cop was found dead in the car on my block. It was yellow taped off. I go into school, niggas is like, yo, what happened? I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like shit like that. Y'all ain't never deal with none of that shit. So when y'all niggas is talking about, yeah, I'm from Philly, I'm from blah, blah. Yeah, no matter how many of your cousins died, you never risk getting shot yourself.
God
I don't give a fuck. Like, you've never been in the hood.
Real.
That's cool. No matter how many tears you shed at a funeral, you never risk a scrape, a bullet, or a fist to the face. You never risk none of that shit. So a lot of these dudes bring that up looking for validation. They want to know that you are aware of the reputation and associate that to them and validate them for it. A lot of niggas are on that type time.
See, I guess it was because I had my pop. He was a real nigga, but he was always the real nigga who was never seen type shit. He's like, yeah, when I was doing it's like no car. He was like, yeah, no car, no nothing. It's like, you just do your shit the right way. And it was just like, it's that. It was like he was a real nigga, but he, at that point, when I was growing up, that was like past shit. But it's like he always operated like that. Yeah. He was working jobs, this, that, third, and he was trying to make me to be better. Yeah. But it's like we listen to the same music. I'm in fucking high school listening to DMX and Scarface and a whole bunch
Yeah.
of other old school hip hop shit, Wu Tang and all that. And so it's like always knew how to move.
Uh huh.
So, but it's like I never did that, so I was humble with it.
Yeah.
But real nigga, it's like I was real, so real niggas will be able to recognize, and they
Exactly.
always fucked with me,
Exactly.
always.
That's real. That's real. I feel like I was always held back in a way because I was taught to be more reserved. But that's a conversation for another day,
Yeah.
right? But when you peep the validation that people give you, right, it sticks out. And then when we talk about women, we're in a place where, like, shouts out to Kevin Samuels, right? Because like
Facts.
he's one of the people that have
I don't even
blatantly
know
said
him.
it. I'll put you on later, but
Yeah.
he's a image consultant slash relationship coach.
Okay.
And one of the things that he has said is men are valued based on their confidence, their status, and their finances, how much money they have.
Okay.
Women are valued based on their femininity, their beauty, and their fertility.
Okay.
So when we say that shit, a lot of niggas hear that shit and they like, yeah, yeah, I feel you. Like, yeah, I know
Yeah.
I walk through life like a girl's gonna look at me and be like, yo, I mean, yeah, she's gonna fuck with me whether I'm cute or not,
Yeah.
but she gonna be like, oh, all right, I see you confident. And then
Yeah,
she
in the
gonna,
future, I really
yeah.
don't care how much you make though.
yeah, yeah.
I'm not gonna care.
You talking about a female, but
Yeah.
like focus on the nigga real quick.
Okay.
So a woman is gonna look at you and be like, okay,
Like from a nigga perspective.
well, I guess, like,
When you talk about femininity, okay, I guess.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
so a woman is gonna look at you more than likely, and we don't have no women in this room, so look, this is my perspective as a man. A woman is gonna look at you and say, okay, he seems, well, first things first is status, right? She doesn't know my job, she doesn't know my rank, whatever, but she's gonna look at how I'm dressed first. She's gonna and determine my status based on that. Now I can offset that, but if I walk up, like we just did the original. If I walk up with an Elijah suit,
Mm-hmm.
she gonna assume my status off rip.
Yeah.
After that,
Just for the record, it wouldn't be him; it'd be me. But
right? No, yeah, exactly, man. We already know. But she's gonna assume my status off rip after seeing me in this Elijah suit in this fucking $10,000 Italian custom made.
See, but
Yeah.
Like
but
when she
we
sees
don't,
me,
we don't want you to have the Elijah look. We want you to have the gravity of the beast look.
I know,
You
but
know, fly,
Pete,
looking fly with
Pete,
the suit.
she
You
gonna
know,
she gonna
nice,
peep my value.
tailored suit.
She gonna peep the suit and assume my
Yeah.
status. And then when I approach her and I
High
open my
value.
mouth, she's gonna listen and assume my confidence. And then
Mm.
as we interact, she's gonna witness my finances. And all these things together determine how attractive she is to me.
Okay.
Now, when I meet a woman, first things first, I notice
was
how
gonna say it.
attractive she is.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean what she's wearing. For me personally, I mean, every man is different. So some guys might value ass, titties, hair, whatever. I'm a face guy. I'm an eye guy. I want to look you in the eyes. I want to see your face. And if I fuck with you, I know I could deal with most other shit. I don't care if you got big titties, flat titties, big ass, flat ass. Like
You can make it work.
I wanna look you in the face. And if I fuck with your face, we're good. So like that's it. Hair, I just want, like, I don't want a girl that's always wearing makeup and got extensions and be dying or shit and be like, keep natural hair, natural face, real beauty. But what everybody's different, but
Yeah, everybody
you know what I mean? But we're gonna see beauty first.
Facts.
After that,
Facts.
I'm gonna interact with you and see how feminine you are.
What's the first thing you guys see in a
Facts.
woman?
Beauty, just like
Yeah.
you.
What does her face look like?
That's
Like,
the first
what
thing we all know.
Because to me, and you look at you look at a beauty. All right. Well, first thing to me in beauty is a woman's eyes.
I'm with you there. Like I said, I'm a face and eye guy. That's what I said.
Yeah.
I'm
Are
a
you
face
the
and
same
eye
thing,
guy.
Face and eye guy.
Mostly face.
Okay.
See,
It depends,
yeah.
honestly, cause I just can't. I need something. I need some type of figure. I'm not gonna lie. We
Right.
talking about you can make it work. I don't think I got standards for that. If it's like if you
I
always
feel you.
pretty, you pretty. I'm not
But see,
gonna lie.
I feel like beauty does fade, right? So when we like, I feel like beauty is the attractiveness in the same way. if you have something that attracts a woman to you,
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't mean you're gonna keep her. It's like at the end of the day, we understand what attracts people, and then we are who we are. Our personalities keep a partner, but we attract partners in different ways.
Yeah.
So that's really what it comes down to. So a woman will be attracted to you because of your money and your status, your confidence. And if you're an asshole, it's a ticking time bomb.
I'm not gonna hold. A super skinny joy could definitely catch me if her personality was on some
Exactly.
shit.
I mean, and
I
we're
ca-
not
I can't
talking.
even
We're
say
not
that.
talking like anorexic bony, but
Yeah,
still.
oh yeah. But it's just
But
like,
yeah, she could be skinny and she could attract you and get you.
I prefer some curves, honestly.
I
I'm not
feel
too
you.
guy.
I mean, look, as long as I'm happy squeezing, I'm good. If I got something to squeeze, I'm cool.
Hey.
But
Mm.
what it really comes down to
I like to
is
show
that
off.
aspect. I like to show up too, but it comes down to that aspect where a woman is gonna look at us for that, but when we look at women, we want that initial attraction, and when we talk to her, we want her to be feminine. You know, she got that
Yeah.
like that energy to her, and then if we want kids, we want her to be able to give us kids. That's really what it
Facts.
comes
Back
down
to
to.
the kids thing.
No, but I'm saying as far as attractiveness. Now, if you never want kids as a man, then it's just beauty and femininity. You want your woman to support you. You want your woman to submit to you. You want your woman to be able to help maintain your life. As a man, you know what you want to do, hopefully. As a real man, you know what you want to do, you know what you want to achieve, and you would hope that your wife supports you, holds you down, and is able to give you everything you want. And in a perfect world, you could give her everything that she wants.
Can I ask a question?
What's up?
So, at the end of all that, what do we all come down to? Like, what's the final decision on how we feel on the validation?
Well, we didn't even continue that part because the valid like I want to point out specific examples of the validation part. But you asking me how I feel about validation in general?
Yeah.
I feel like we all want validation. It's just how we choose to attain it and how we value validation.
Okay.
Like, all right,
I
so
feel that.
I'll get into one of my initial points, right? So let's say you got a guy, like social media specifically, and I feel like all this buildup was to bring up how validation is natural. It's not to discredit people who do things for validation. You know, if you got a kid that whose parents is telling them, "Yo, I want you to do well in school. I want you to get an A on this test." They study hard because they want to be validated by their parents, right? And that's understandable. But at the end of the day, if they get A's all the time, then what does that validation mean to the parent? They expect it at a certain point. If I have a girlfriend and I tell her like, "Yo, you're beautiful, you're sexy, you're this," like whether she look good, whether she not, whether she gain weight, whether she lose weight, whether she's confident or not. If I just say, "Yo, you're beautiful, you're beautiful, you're beautiful," if I say it every fucking day, how long before saying you're beautiful doesn't mean
And she be
anything?
like, "Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know."
But it's even beyond that. But but validation is natural. But we get to a point where like social media has fucked us up because prior we had to live our lives in our everyday within our regular shit.
This yearbook right here shows you right now, even though because it's the only thing that we have images of, is a life way before we ever thought that life we live now would be how it is.
That's a fact.
Oh
'Cause
shit,
you
that
see
is a
social
fucking
media,
fact.
And you know, back then in 2013, like that.
You know, I went to DSU for engineering.
Really?
Yes,
Only thing I ever did to
Real quick.
DSU
I
was
made it to calculus, trigonometries.
shuttle.
I was helping niggas in physics class cheating.
But all right. So with the validation aspect though, we want validation naturally, but when we get into the social media age,
Yeah.
that is where we step outside of personal experience, right? All men want to be looked at highly. All women want to be looked at highly. It's human. Now, we're judged based on our reality, or at least we were. People know whether or not you have, or unless you're being completely private. Back in the day, if you work a job, niggas could see you wake up in the morning and leave, and then they see you come home at night. They see how your car looks. They see how your house looks. Not to say they know what the inside looks like and how fully functioning your relationship is, but people can watch you and judge you for it. But then we are in an age where we have social media where you can expand past the a million people in your city and you can tap into the 7 billion people across the world.
Facts.
And now, instead of people looking at you like the guy that literally he works at a factory, he makes $50,000 a year, and he has a simple home, now niggas could look at you and be like, oh shit, this nigga got bands, not knowing that is just some rent money mixed with insurance money mixed, like that's your bill bread.
Yeah.
That's, you're not about to blow that at the mall. You're not about to throw that at a club.
Don't take no pictures with your re-up money, kid.
Don't take, but see that's what it gets into, right?
Don't.
Because you got people that are doing that, and then now
That's
those
the plug
dudes,
money.
that's the plug money.
That's the you
fucking been there,
finessing
bro.
with somebody else's bread. That's
It's
the plug
different.
money.
It's different when you get
Nah.
your bread back. When you get your bread back, and you know you got to give that shit to the plug, that shit feel different because it's like, yeah, you know what you got, but it's not yours. But in that moment, you got a lot of bitch ass niggas that feel like it's theirs.
Yeah.
They feel like they don't owe the plug, and that's a whole nother conversation.
You don't have that. You worried about potential energy, dickhead.
Yeah, and they
no.
post them pictures,
You gotta
thinking,
create that.
and they really do get validation because now the people closest to them know what it is, but they're worried about others outside.
Oh, you just got bands like that?
Yeah, outside of the bubble. So now that guy getting likes, he getting comments, he's getting pussy. Flip it, right? You could have a girl that in her everyday life, people see her. They see her no makeup. They see her at work. They see her regular. But when they look at her social media, it's nothing
came
but
in to
thirst
work
traps.
sick. Oh, you don't look
nothing but thirst
you don't look the
traps.
same.
That's real. But they peep the Instagram and it's nothing but thirst traps. And now niggas is hitting her up, giving her all that validation she want. And that right there fucks us up. Like, I want to talk about Chloe Bailey.
Okay.
From Chloe and Haley, right?
Yeah.
There was a lot of uproar with that particular situation because prior to her making her own individual Instagram account, she was part of this group, signed to Beyonce. They would dress a certain way for performances, but for the most part, her social media interactions were pretty calm, for the most part tame.
Yeah.
Not too much drama there. But then she makes her own Instagram, and within a couple weeks, it's lots of thirst traps. It's the revealing dress. It's the lingerie on the bedroom. It's the, like, all these different thirst trappy things. And I found that out around the same time I came up with the topic for this video.
Yeah.
Because that shit concerned me. And I was just thinking about it, and I want people's opinions on this. Where prior, I feel like a guy might look at her and be like, damn, you're beautiful. Yo, but yeah, you're beautiful, but I'm not really thinking about you in a revealing sense because your social media presence didn't focus on your revealing, like, clothing shit. But then when we take it to another step where I'm like, okay, I know had I seen you prior, I would have said she's beautiful, she's talented, I respect this girl, I wanna wife her. Now you're putting out the thirst traps. Yeah, you get millions of followers really quickly. But then at the end of the day, you changed how you're viewed.
It's very controversial nowadays.
It is. Like, she went from being respected for her talent to ogled for her beauty and sex appeal. So now she might, like, and I think this is where she fucks up. Most of the niggas that's following her now are not paying for shit. Whereas prior, she might have had a more supportive fan base that respected her talent or her skills. Now you got a lot of followers and comments. That's dope. You might get some bread off of ad dollars because you got so many followers. But within your love life, majority of the niggas hitting you up now are probably just trying to fuck you.
Facts.
Straight up. Like, if my girl,
I feel like, honestly,
if my girl started posting revealing shit, out of the blue, I mean, like if my girl was doing that shit, I wouldn't be fucking with her in the first place. But if she just out of nowhere start posting revealing shit, yeah, nah, like no. But she's single. That's the excuse, right? Oh, she's single. She doesn't have a man. Well, what type of man is she gonna fucking get doing that type of shit? Not nobody that's gonna take her serious.
I feel like women don't want to take that responsibility. I feel like you can.
I strongly believe there's always somebody out for somebody out there. So
Yeah, there are, but it's like you have to take responsibility
Man,
of what you put out there.
every whore could find a simp. That ain't shit, bro.
Women
listen,
don't want to
I
take
ain't say they were gonna
responsibility
be
for
good
what
to
they put
them.
out
I
there.
just know they could get it.
No, they can't get what they want. That's what I'm trying to get. It's the difference between like in
I
the
say they
same
can.
sense. And no. Because in the same sense, right now, any guy can find a girl. Why? Because there are more girls than there are guys. We have more options. That being said, is every guy gonna find the girl they want? No, because the girl they want is also wanted by other guys. Same with females. We need to understand that everybody is different and we all want different things, but on a large scale, as people, we tend to want the same things. Most women want a guy that is attractive, that is kind to them, that is masculine, and that can support them. Most dudes want a girl that is attractive, that is feminine, that will submit to them for the most part, but is also smart enough to have a respectable opinion, and that can help them raise their family and give them the kids they want. Regardless of all our individual shit, you might want a girl that likes horror movies. You might like a girl that likes
Horror
comedy
are
movies.
amazing.
Yeah, but we might want girls that are different in different ways. But at the end of the day, our core shit tends to fall in line with one another because we're men.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, women are women. At the end of the day, they want certain things that co-align with one another, and we're talking all heterosexually here. So within that,
Super straight.
yeah. So, but within that, we all want the same shit for the most part. So when a person does something, like I feel like deep down, in my personal perspective, as somebody who is trying to become successful as an entertainer and an artist, I can see where Chloe Bailey might have said, I want to do this because I want to. She might see the attention that other girls are getting from posting revealing shit. She wants that attention because she plays it calm. And she doesn't get that thought attention. And she wants that feeling. She hears her girlfriends talking about, yeah, I got mad likes, I got this and that, and see them posting whatever. So she want to do the same shit. It could be that. Or it could be a business move. She realized how many followers she would get, how much money she would get from ad dollars just simply off of the followers. I could respect it on a business level and understand the detriment in a relationship and family dynamic. I feel like that is what it comes down to. So if she decides that, hey, I don't want to have a kid or a serious relationship for the next 10 years, she going to do that shit. But in 10 years, it's going to be too late.
Yeah.
She's fucked up
Is there
by
no
doing
way
this.
that she can come back from that?
No, not really. Honestly, I feel like once you get like, don't get me wrong, business is business. So she's gonna have to get with another guy who's in the industry if she plans on finding a lover, a real lover.
It comes down to like you always have to make sure that no one's gonna be perfect in any sense.
But you have to be respectable.
That too, but it's like if you're not respected, see, there's another thing that a lot of people want other than just power is respect. You know, so
I'm thinking on it. I think of it from the perspective of it's just like you could do whatever the fuck you want, but I do not want to hear no complaining, no bullshit about niggas. Hold your L.
Real.
Hold your fucking L.
it's you gotta
For real.
hold your place.
You have
or
to
lose it
understand. It's
for,
like
you know.
this is what you represent. You can't be mad when niggas start looking at you like, yo, I want to fuck. Come at you crazy when you posting
You're talking about
half
like
naked pictures.
This is actually a good sideline that goes into what we were talking about. I'm not going to mention this person's name. I have multiple
Is it a
people.
guy or girl?
Girl.
Girl. All
Yes. I have multiple
Florence.
friends on Facebook.
Her name is Florence.
I bet we calling her. Yo, shouts out to you, my nigga. Shouts out to you,
Bash
my
be
nigga.
having
My
the
God,
shit.
for real. Be coming
You
up
be
with
having
these
the
names.
nicknames.
So Florence, right?
I'm prepared for anything, guys.
So Florence, I have a friend named Florence, and like I said, I got multiple different friends. listen, listen. I have multiple different friends on my Facebook that just so happen to have an OnlyFans, and that shit surprised me, right?
Man.
I literally had to unfollow one of my friends because all she would do, like, she stopped posting regular shit on her Facebook. This one particular friend that I'm talking about is like a sister type figure to me. We're not like hella fucking close, but like I would say sisterly if I were to describe it anyway. And she stopped posting regular shit on her Instagram. She started posting nothing but advertisement for her OnlyFans. I do not want to see you in a bikini. I do not want to see you.
She's not good looking.
I'm not saying that she's not attractive. What I'm saying is,
I mean,
I don't look at her
his
that. I don't.
standards are lower. So.
No,
But
no,
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 fuck
no.
you. But look,
you know, Bash.
what I'm
That's
saying
it.
is, I don't look at her that
Real
way,
shit.
so I don't want to fucking see that shit. Your mom is a friend of yours on Facebook, and you putting that shit on your story, like that's my shit that fucks me up.
Hey, you called me an
But look,
asshole for what I said earlier. That's fucked up.
But Pete, no, I'm saying that's a fact. But Florence though.
Florence.
For Florence,
You've done fucked
Florence,
up.
look. Florence is a good girl, to a point. Outside of what she does,
Cool as hell.
she a cool girl. She's kind, but she had a rep back in the day.
Well,
She had a rep. She was on
Sorry,
some whole
Florence.
shit. But look, outside of that, she decided to make her OnlyFans. But the one thing I notice about her is that she has an OnlyFans. She's super, supposedly, confident in her sexuality and whatnot. And then she'll post her little pictures and all this other shit, which is all fine and dandy. But then she is confused about why men approach her a certain way. And that kind of baffles my mind. That shows me how out of touch she is with how men work and how, I mean, ideally females
feel- I
would work.
wouldn't-
How do you feel men are treated today in society?
We could get to that.
Hold up,
But-
but I want to go on this topic.
Yeah.
So can we? Oh, okay, never mind.
I feel like, low key, Kim Simmons said something that I was fucking with. He was like, women are born with value, and men earn value through time.
Yeah.
And I feel like women are like more masculine nowadays.
Yeah.
It's like, and since they're born with value, they're not as humble.
Oh, yeah.
So they can't humble themselves enough to see that you don't understand why.
I'm not cutting you off. I just want to say, I
Yeah.
don't think it's that they're not humble enough. I feel like it's the way they're raised, the way we're all raised. We've lost touch with how we should be within our masculinity and femininity.
Yeah.
And a lot of women have been taught to hate men. But continue.
So now that they hate men, they have to be more masculine. But since hold up,
Define masculine.
it's
What
like,
does it mean to be masculine?
oh, goddamn.
You know, that's an interesting question. For me, if I were to simplify it, I would say masculine means confident, secure. You are understanding of what your purpose is.
Keep in mind
And
that
you're
by
good-
each thing that you say, it also reflects on what. Isn't there a difference between feminism and
Yeah.
masculinity? So,
But
like,
No.
all right, so
can
look.
being a feminist be also
right, so-
having the same
So, all right,
characteristics?
then maybe I should say dominant.
So you feel men should be
and-
more dominant than women in anything?
I feel like men should be more dominant, but it's not that simple, right?
Yeah.
I feel like the
not.
the
Explain to our
problem is.
viewers about-
So all right, look.
Cause I feel like I can explain this
All
too.
right, go ahead.
Cause I feel like it's not about me. It's like I would love a feisty chick. It's like, okay, you want to talk back, you want to say your little slick shit. That's cool. I'm a man. At the end of the day, you can't beat me. You can't
Yup.
so it's like I'm not gonna even act like that. It's just like
We
I'm gonna
won't-
wait.
We won't show your picture, so that way you can stay strong with that, man.
No, I always been strong. I got strong back then,
Uh,
but it's like I'll just wait and be like, okay, she can talk her little shit, but it's like at the end of the day, I'm gonna show her who's more dominant.
right.
It's like when I put my foot down, the foot's down. It's no way I'm like, yo, I'm not hitting you up, and it's like I'm hitting you up out the blue talking about. If I say I'm never gonna hit you up no more, I'm never hitting you up no more. I'm gonna stand on that. Not because I'm gonna think I'm getting pussy. I'm not
Even
gonna be the
even though
nigga
I'm
who's
pretty
gonna
sure
be back in your
your
DM.
DMs be crazy.
It's like, no,
So,
never. You gotta stand on what you say. And it's like,
Right, stand on
like
your
when
10.
you said, how can a woman respect you when you don't get what you want?
Yeah.
If you're not gonna get
that's
what
true.
you want, I'll stand on that.
That's true.
I get that from my grandfather. I'm not playing no shit,
Right.
but I'm also be respectful. I'm a laid back nigga, and I'm a own. It's not like I'm gonna get overtly controlling. I know my boundaries, and I'm willing to defend them.
Can we get another
See,
shot?
yeah, we can. But hold up. Before that, real quick, I want to say, this might take it to an extreme, but I feel like something that I heard really kind of resonated a bit, where it's like, all right, so Kevin Samuels had a video recently where he got some backlash about it. Y'all ever heard of like Naked and Afraid, like that show?
Never heard of it.
Like the whole idea is that you take a man and a woman or whoever and you put them on an island naked, and then they gotta survive on the island. But that's that show. But there was another show that he had referenced in the shit, and he said it was on Hulu. I forget the title of it. But it was a show where they took like 12 dudes or some shit like that, put them on an island by themselves, and then see if they could survive and handle shit and whatever, right?
Yeah.
Then the first season came out, and they got some backlash because it was a bunch of women saying, why weren't there any women there? So the second season, they ended up having a competition of sorts where they put women on one island, men on another island, just to see the comparisons. Could women survive on their own? Could men survive on their own?
That's a very good point.
Right. So the men, within the first couple days, they created a hierarchy. They chose a leader. They created structure. They gave jobs out to specific people. They started focusing on what they needed, resources. They traveled the island, and they figured it out, and they were successful for the most part.
Yeah.
First few days, the women could not figure out a leader. They wanted everybody to have an equal say. There was no progress. At several points during the experiment, the actual directors and the people, producers, had to step in and give women extra resources because on their own, they weren't able to figure certain shit out. They made certain decisions. They found a pig, and instead of killing the pig, they wanted to treat it like a pet.
Can I just say that you just took that to like a whole?
But I believe it though.
Like,
I believe
Now,
it. No, this is the same
and,
shit.
And it's different levels to the shit. Not only could they not create a hierarchy and continue and focus on survival, their emotion took forefront. Now, I'm not saying all women would be this way. Maybe they just chose
I hope
particular
not.
women. But
I
and
hope
it
not.
was just certain aspects of logic. And then he brought up another point. He was to say, like, if all women were to disappear from Earth today, men, no, but look, we couldn't procreate as men. We could survive though.
Yeah.
All the jobs that we have, men could teach other men these jobs within a couple months, and we could survive. The power plants, the food industry, all these different things, men could take over, and we could get by. But his argument, I'm not saying I believe it 100%, is that there aren't enough women in these roles currently that if men were to disappear, women could teach other women to do it and actually survive until their natural end. That's a whole nother conversation, but that is one of those aspects of the male-female nature aspect. I don't want to get too lost in that. But when we were talking about the whole idea of masculinity and femininity and what does that mean, I feel like truly to be a masculine man, you have to know your purpose.
Okay.
You have to be willing to work hard. You have to be willing to sacrifice, and you have to be willing to keep moving forward in spite of bullshit. To be a feminine woman, I can't speak on that all the way because one, I'm not a woman. I can tell you my opinion, and I truly feel like a woman should do whatever a woman wants to do, but she has to decide what she wants in her life. If a woman wants to have a family and children, she needs to focus more on men and not a career. A man wants what a man
That's
wants.
real.
And a man, regardless of what he wants, he doesn't necessarily think like a real man wants to support his woman. But a real man isn't going to choose a woman who has zero influence on him. Like if I'm with a girl, it's because I know I want to support her. I fuck with her, she fuck with me. I could support her. She could support me.
Right,
Our
I have
dreams
a lot to say
co-align.
about this topic, so just be careful.
Yeah, I'll finish. I want you to touch on it. But I know we could support each other in what we believe in, and we could grow together and become a power couple. That's my goal. But at the end of the day, if I want to be a businessman and my wife want to be a baker, I don't give a fuck. Like, go be a baker. But if you telling me that you can't, like, you can't support me because you want to go focus on being a baker,
Yeah.
we're probably not gonna last the longest. But if I have the money to provide your life as a baker, and you focus your time on family and the baking is whatever spare time, go do what you want to do.
And I'll support you 100%.
I'll support you 100%. But as long as our family dynamic doesn't get fucked up.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
When it comes down to that, it's just more of, all right, so I'm the one that controls this. I'm more dominant, right? That's all about control. Am I right?
I'm not. I wouldn't say the word control, because at the end of the day, it comes down to submission. You're not trying to control your woman. You want a woman who trusts you, and who believes in you, and who's willing to say, "I want to support you."
So with that being said, are you prepared to give that back to that significant other?
I feel like a man shouldn't be submissive.
Okay, so to clarify the submissive part, it's more on.
And I'm not talking about
she
sexually.
can't-
I know people in the BDSM world like, do
Yeah,
do whatever you
yes.
want, but I'm talking about like relationship, family, structure, dynamic. That's different, unless you're like 24/7. You know,
It's more of a compromise with men.
Is
It's
it?
not submission,
Okay.
but a compromise.
compromise is always needed, but I wouldn't use the
more or
word
less,
submission.
more or less to say is like
I'm going to do
okay.
what you want because I know you want to do that type shit.
I'm gonna do what I feel is
As
necessary.
a man to make you happy type shit.
I'm gonna do what is within my range to support you.
Yeah.
If my wife is telling me like, I don't like that you do this, so I want you to do this because this will make me happier, I'd be an asshole to say, nah, fuck out of here, deal with it. And vice versa. If I said something to my wife, I don't like this, she would be an asshole to say, fuck out of here, deal with it.
Yeah.
But it comes down to a certain point. You got to decide what is your compromise as who you are. What are you willing to sacrifice in order to maintain this relationship? Because
a very personal agreement.
yeah, it's super personal, because at the end of the day, a woman has to maintain her value as a woman, and a man has to maintain his value as a man. If we make
it's a really sensitive topic, right?
it really is,
when
but
it comes down to, because people who are really like disturbed by this, they are really quick to be on top of you and be like, well, what defines a woman? What defines a man?
I'm not with that shit. We don't talk about anything outside of cisgender heterosexuals.
They got this shit called super straight, right? It's
Really?
Is that why you
a
shared
new,
that one thing about?
it's a new
what
gender.
Was that Sean? I think that
like
was
it's a
Sean.
new gender
What?
movement.
It was probably Sean, yeah.
That he has said.
Oh, people too sensitive and all that other shit.
No, he said something about like the LGBTQ. And then he did like ABC.
Yeah. He was being sure. I know what status you talking about.
Yeah.
His whole thing was that people are too sensitive based on certain shit.
Yeah.
Now, personally, I feel like yes, people are too sensitive, but I don't.
But that's also the
He's
same
more
thing
like
with racism.
But
It's a sensitive topic.
It
to
is a
people.
sensitive topic, but racism doesn't get as much
Politics?
argumentativeness from, or racism doesn't get the same amount of arguments as sexuality and gender in 2021.
So you think that's the number one thing, because racism is very high up in things that are talking
Racism
about.
is very real, but it's less prominent in 2021
Niggas low key don't
in
give a fuck.
comparisons to the gender sex struggle.
Yeah.
And that right there is why people are so sensitive about it.
Right.
So, I mean, I feel like that's a whole nother argument of its
I
own.
feel like you getting banned. You getting banned way faster over there than
Yeah.
you would for saying some nut ass shit. Some
That's true.
racism shit.
Yeah.
That's true.
But the whole idea of your value, like, so with a Chloe Bailey, right? She was valued to be beautiful and talented. Now she's valued on her beauty, and her talent is second. She might have had guys that were businessmen that might have truly considered her for a wife. Now she has guys that are in the streets hitting her up with no chance,
Yeah.
but they just want to fuck her. So now, if she were to come out
What's
in
up
5
with
years saying all niggas ain't shit, I would not be surprised. Why? Because you put yourself in a position to be approached by ain't shit niggas. And not to say that being beautiful and feminine won't bring the ain't shit niggas, but being sexual
So
and
do you feel
displaying
like
your body in that way
as a woman you have to
brings it way
attract what
quicker.
you want?
As people, you have to attract what you want. As a man,
Facts, yeah, true.
you have to
true,
raise,
true,
like,
true,
we
true.
all have to raise our levels. And I think that's the problem because when
Niggas
we,
gotta work on themselves.
yeah, everybody, not
The
just
whole,
niggas.
no, yeah, not, yeah, everybody.
Mhm.
The whole world has to work on themselves.
That's real.
What the fuck do you want? And take responsibility for the bullshit that you got. Cause you put
See,
up with it.
we tell everybody, like, yo, you can have whatever you want in this world. You just got to work for it. Guess what
Super
part of,
simple.
but what part of
More
that
people
statement
would
do
do a
people
lot
forget?
more. More people would do a lot more.
What part of that
The work.
statement? The work. Like, women are, like, a lot of women are told, like, you're beautiful no matter what. Your Prince Charming is out there.
I'm a 10.
I'm a 10. That Kevin Samuels shit. But then with men, we're forced with the brutal realities. Like, yo, you got a little dick. You
Yeah.
fat.
As
You
men,
broke.
we have to work for our value, and women are born with their
Born
value.
with their value because a woman, as soon as she hits puberty, she can give birth.
A nigga will never believe he's a 10 because he already know he got work.
And then
It's
niggas,
like, yo.
niggas who are 10s realize the nature of shit. Like,
Mhm.
for example, like a Daniel Caesar song. He said, well, what he said, used to be ugly, but now I hit from the back.
Yeah.
And then the next statement, I ain't never got no pussy acting like a pussy. Those two statements in that same song.
God damn.
Those two statements in that
I gotta go
same
home.
song.
It was the same song.
Because that's
God damn.
hypergamy right there.
Yeah.
That's like, yo, I used to be ugly, now I hit from the back. I was a nobody, a ugly, crooked, tooth-ass, dark-skinned nigga with dreads. My only quality was that I could sing. Now I'm famous and bitches love my songs, and now I can hit from the back. I didn't never got no pussy acting like a pussy. I used to be a simp nigga who used to sing love songs. Still do. But now I'm talking about the fact that I realized how I used to be and I've changed, and look at me. I did not get no pussy back then.
I'm getting pussy now.
Now I hit from the back. Like, it's that simple. It's like when we look at that type of shit, our value goes up and our shit goes up. You got a lot of dudes that you might be attractive and that
Chasing
works
that
for
dream.
you. That works for you. Like, think at every aspect of your life. You in high school, niggas who was on the football team, basketball team, they was getting pussy. Straight up, early.
Not just them.
Not just them, but what I'm saying is those particular fields, the masculine, dominant, successful fields.
It's a reason it's a
So
cliche.
As you get older, it changes.
So just to kind of like go back, it's like, so with that being said,
Talk to Mike.
how do you guys feel on the difference between having that father in your life,
Yeah.
and achieving those things that might have helped you benefit your childhood? Put that back into perspective.
Well, if I had my father around, I don't know how he would have influenced me exactly, because I know he was successful at different points in his life, but he was successful doing different things. And if I had my mom growing up, I don't know like how much I could really assume off of her, because I know people loved her, but she also chose to get involved with my father, who was in his line of work. So can I trust my mother's decision-making abilities or my father's decision-making abilities? Who's to say I'd be successful versus being just like he was?
Did you ever like put into perspective that because the closest thing you had to them was your aunt, your grandmother, your grandfather, you know, like, do you see as to maybe how they could have been because of how they are?
No, I can't, because my grandmother grew up with a working father and a working mother. Well, I don't know if my great grandmother worked, but she grew up with a two-parent household. I believe they were married. I'm not 100% sure. She had multiple brothers and sisters. They all lived in the same household, and they all had that good family dynamic. My grandfather is a different case there, and my aunt, she did not, like, her boyfriend got locked up. Like, it's a lot of prison in my life. Like, motherfuckers getting locked up and shit. But even that situation,
To the incarcerated.
to the incarcerated, shouts out to these niggas. But when I look at my grandmother, My grandfather, as far as I know, was never into no illegal shit. So my grandmother had better decision making choices.
Mm-hmm.
My aunt, her one significant other that was prominent in my life, he got caught up in some other shit. I don't know if he sold drugs or whatever the case was. I know he ended up catching a body and he got locked up for it. Niggas was gonna come after him. He had to handle them first. He got locked up. I don't know how I can use that to judge. I know my mom, from what I was told, she didn't go to high school. She dropped out at an early age. She was and that's, I could be wrong. Maybe it was ninth grade, 10th grade, but she dropped out of school. She didn't get a diploma. She was a babysitter for most of the hood, and that's why niggas knew her. She was loved throughout the hood. She was the fucking light of shit based on how niggas would like push it to me. And then I know my dad was doing what he did. It's like, now me and my dad have a relationship now and we talk, so it's not like I'm speaking out of any resentment, but I remember when he told me he spent most of the 80s in prison. My dad, I believe, is he, he's like 59 or 60. He's in his, I think he's in his 60s now. I don't even know. No, my dad was born in, I think he said 58. I don't even know.
Your dad was born in
I
58?
think I don't even fucking remember. Honestly, I don't remember. I think he's in his 60s now. But my point in that was he spent most of the 80s in prison. I was born in 95. I'm pretty sure he got locked up in like 97 again, came out when I was like younger. Got locked up again, came out when I was younger. Got locked up again, came out. Got locked up again, came out again when I was probably like 19. He been out ever since, and you know we've been rebuilding our relationship. But when I look at that, had I had that nigga, I don't know how I'd have been. I don't know. Like, all I could think about is the fact that when he was out of prison, I don't remember any time where he called my grandmother and said, "Yo, can he spend the weekend with me?" I don't remember any time where he said, "Can he come to my family's house for Christmas? My family's house for Thanksgiving?" I don't I don't recall one time. I mean, for all I know, my grandmother could have kept it from me. Who knows? I doubt it. But I don't recall that. So if my mom was there, who's to say that he would have been in my life versus just shit still being the same and him still not being around? I know my mom would have been there for me because of everything I've been told about my mom. I know she done helped raise other kids. She would have fucking loved me and did everything for me. I don't doubt that. But how would I have been being raised by a single mother? Like my actual mother.
Yeah.
Who was as much as she was. Like my aunt. My aunt went to school. She ended up getting a job at a bank. She worked her way up. She started off in the Bronx. She had her own apartment. She helped raise my other cousin. Moved out here, got a house, got a new job.
Preach to all the women that did all these amazing things.
Shouts out to all the women that did all these fucking amazing things. My aunt was the shit, bro. My aunt was the shit. She did all this shit alone. Like, my grandmother helped and shit, but she did all this shit. I appreciate her for that. So I honestly think it was, I don't think the love was any different. I think my aunt, and for, like, just to say this, whenever I was younger and niggas would say, call your mom, I call my aunt. I never corrected them and say, oh yeah, I'm calling my, I'm like, no, you said my mom, yeah, my aunt's my mom. Straight up, like that's my mother.
Yeah.
No weirdness in that. But what I'm saying is, I feel like it's better. I probably had the best possible scenario for what could have been in my life. I probably, had I stayed in the city,
you appreciate what happened to you.
I would have ended up on the corner with my cousins. And that right there sticks out to me. Like, I don't regret being taken out the city. I don't regret having been raised the way I was raised because it made me who I am today. And it helped me realize certain shit about who I am today. But it all adds up to a lot of different shit. Like, when we talk about the validation aspects, when we talk about the male-female nature aspects, it means a lot. It's like, I don't know. I think more people need to think about it and just discuss it and see how it affects them. And like, I feel like the more we discuss it and the more we understand about how it is important to understand how we're valued. It's important to understand what influences us.
I feel like it causes self-reflection.
Oh, 100%.
It's like you figure out shit about yourself to upgrade yourself. And I feel like if everybody would upgrade themselves, then we might be better.
For real. We'll definitely be better. It's like most people don't necessarily realize that shit, but 100% we would definitely be better if we were able to just grasp that. But yeah, honestly, I feel like we could end off right here, for real, for real. Cause we've gone through it. Like, so any conclusions? Any conclusions after we've spoken about validation, and after we've talked about the male female nature aspect? Is there anything else that y'all feel like y'all didn't get to say?
I feel like when it comes to that, just know that everything happens for a reason,
Mm-hmm.
and whether it was what we wanted, it is what it is.
Yeah.
We can't change that. Hopefully that's why we work hard for our better lives.
Mm-hmm.
We can definitely say that how our childhood has reflected on us today. And with the women, what are you gonna do?
Not even just the women though. With the men too. It's like
The men too, but but we say women because it's like, well, unfortunately, they are a certain way. Men are too, but as men ourselves, we see it this way. Vice versa. If we had a woman here, she would probably see it the other way.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, but see, I agree with you, but I do feel like there are a lot of women who don't do that shit. Like,
not
It's
everybody's
like
the
that
same.
moral
I
value,
know
that humbleness.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like they can't see it from that perspective
Mhm.
because they've always had value. As
Yeah.
opposed to a nigga who had to work for that value.
Not even just all.
Like
well,
a nigga
yeah.
knows who he's talking to,
Mhm.
as opposed to where a woman might cuss a nigga out. It's like you wouldn't.
Well, as long as there's nothing bad
You're
about
so willing to fight a nigga knowing you can't beat him.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
You know what
like
I
you have to
saw?
humble
it.
yourself.
You know what I
sometimes.
saw recently?
Niggas
Yeah.
know who they're talking to.
Yeah.
Somebody saw recently where it said, it's like somewhat related, where before you fuck the baby mama, you have
Yeah.
to be sure that you can fuck up the baby daddy. And it's
Yo,
like,
that's real. I feel you.
Yeah.
and it's like, wait
worst,
a minute.
worst case scenario.
It's like you want to get with the girl. Well, just
Mhm.
be sure because at this point, you're the child. Remember, there's no father figure. In this case, with neither, it's like, well, you had your aunt as a influence, right?
That was my mom.
So it's like, did you have an uncle influence as well?
No.
Exactly. So in this case, your uncle, like,
Well, the uncle I did have spent most of his life in jail. Well, most of my life in
Right.
jail.
so with that being said, it's like, well, how different would that be now? But what can we do?
For real.
What can we do?
This is, I feel like it comes down to being a man, being down for the worst case scenario. Because if you're not down for the worst case scenario, once your girl sees that, she could never respect you again.
At this point,
If
we're
your baby
just,
daddy, if a worst case scenario, her baby daddy on some shit, what the fuck are you gonna do? If you bitch up, she'll never
that
look at you.
whole
That
thing
same.
about baby daddies and baby moms are always going to be a thing. There's never going to be the perfect relationship, regardless of whether you stay together or not. So, with that being said, it's like we just have to let things flow.
Yeah.
Maybe
We
take
let things
responsibility
be.
for yourself.
We're
That's
working
it.
now to better our lives. That's what everybody does, no matter
Yeah.
whether they're on anything or not, whether they're going through anything. Doesn't matter. So, that's my opinions on things.
That
I
was
hope-
it. I said what I had to
hope
say.
it clarified a lot,
Word.
and
Yeah.
see what else happens.
See, I definitely want to hear people's opinions on this, though, because I know when I made my initial post about the single mothers wanting you to be able to take care of yourself
Yeah.
and the single fathers wanting you to be better than them, and also my statements on the whole idea of validation within men and women and bringing up Chloe Bailey, because a lot of people might be able to look at that and say, oh, no, what do you mean she's not going to be valued as much? Oh, what do you mean a single mother doesn't necessarily want you to be better than them? I'm not trying to generalize and say at all times all women are blank. What I'm
Not at
saying
all. Not at
in
all.
general, most of the time, we want things for certain reasons. In general, most of the time, we do things for certain reasons. And if we can't acknowledge it, if a woman wants attention and she posts a thought picture and I use the term thought picture very loosely. Let's say a thirst trap.
Take responsibility
No,
for how
well,
you put
y-
yourself out there.
you have to take responsibility, but we need to discuss more so they can understand the repercussions. You don't take responsibility for things you see as unnecessary, almost.
Yeah, but
You know what I
Okay,
mean?
a lot of
okay,
people
yeah,
know,
okay.
but a lot
Like,
of people
you
know
I
that
understand
as
that.
long
You
as you don't keep doing it, you don't have to worry about it.
Well, but see, I agree with you there, but it really comes to like if a woman is posting a picture on social media and she's very revealing and it's a thirst trap.
Yeah.
She's like, "What's the
If she
problem
can't
with it?"
see why that's a problem, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. If she
Understood.
doesn't see why it's a problem,
Yeah.
if she truly feels like, yeah, I'm posting this picture, I'm getting attention, and it doesn't mean anything. No, I'm not fucking none of these guys. Yeah, I like the comments and the likes on my picture. I get a rush from it, but it doesn't mean anything because
So
I'm
I
not doing
guess-
nothing with any of them. She's delusional and she
Hmm.
needs to see reality.
So I guess the reality of it is, when you do shit like that, you are valued different,
Yes.
and you have to. If you want to be valued that way, you have to take responsibility. And I guess people aren't willing to accept that. It's fucked up.
I
To
wouldn't even
say
say valued that way. I would say if you're willing to accept that type of validation.
that. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. That's perfect.
Mhm.
You crazy with it.
Yeah, because it's like it's all about the type of validation
Bars.
we're willing to accept from people.
Yes.
It's like if I'm
I don't want to
valued,
hear no bitching.
Yeah.
That's it.
Everything that we do today is always a reflection of what we are. But at the same time, everybody else is always on top of that to just be ready to say whatever they got to say.
Mm-hmm.
So that says a lot right there.
see, I do want to say this, right? And this, I'm gonna say a statement for men and a statement for women.
Okay.
If you're a beautiful woman, more than likely you're aware that men are approaching you because you're a beautiful woman. Do you want that to be why you are valued?
No.
If you are a man
Shit.
and you make a lot of money and you post your money and you get attention for it, is that why you want the woman to value you? If the answer is no, then adjust.
Look deep down, dickhead.
Adjust. If
Oh,
a
let
beautiful
yourself
woman
go.
is a beautiful woman, a beautiful woman is a beautiful woman. Whether or not she posts her titties nude, cleavage, or a button-up turtleneck, loose as fuck, not even skin tight. A beautiful woman is a beautiful woman. A rich nigga is a rich nigga. Whether he got on the fucking fresh Italian custom fit or a Walmart $20 fit. A rich nigga is a rich nigga. What do you want to be valued for?
To Walmart.
Right. Like, what do you want to be valued for? That's what it comes down to. Because regardless of how rich I get, I understand that I'm probably going to get attention and validation for my money and my status and the confidence that I gain from my money and status. I get that I'm going to be valued for that. That being said, my wife, I want to appreciate me for my intelligence, for my perspective, for the way I think and the decisions that I make.
Of course, bro.
My wife, regardless of how I look at her, I might look at her and say, damn,
Big
she's
facts,
beautiful.
big facts.
But I want to value my wife based on how well we work together, her femininity, how she can fit into my life, and how I can help her in her life. I want to be valued for these things, so I act appropriately. I focus on how I can better myself to raise my value.
Mhm.
We all as people need to understand that and act accordingly and adjust. As people, we really need to see that and move accordingly. And that's where I'll end this. Anything else?
No, enough said.
That's it.
Okay.
Peace, niggas.
So this is
Thank you,
another
guys.
one. This the big cap, no bullshit. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think.
Subscribe.
If you want to argue, argue. If you want to appreciate, appreciate.
Thank you.
We speaking research, so we'll be able to debunk
Yeah,
that shit
I mean, that's all we
either
can say.
way.
Yeah.
We speak the truth. We're realist. We say what we got to say. We talk about what we got to say. At the end of the day, we all appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All right. Be back at you.
Thank you, guys. See ya.
Deuce.
Peace.